Welcome to Social Media Basics for Business, Lesson 7, Schedule Your Posts. I'm Robert Killen, Director of the Lane Small Business Development Center, and it's great to see you here. In this lesson, we're going to be focusing on these questions. Do I focus on quantity or quality? How often should I post? If I wanted to schedule posts to be shared later, how would I do that? So let's dive in. I wanted to start with this quote, which is one that I love. It's important to me. Success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. This is by Maria Forleo. The reason this is so important to me is that I can pretty easily start chasing squirrels. So I need to be reminded to stay consistent. And when it comes to content delivery in the social media spaces, consistency is absolutely essential. So let's talk about that quantity versus quality issue to start. It's not really a worthwhile question for us because in social media, you've got to have both. You've got to have the quality that reflects your brand voice. You've got to have the quality that leads you toward your goals. So you've got to have quality. But in addition, you've got to have quantity. Google has determined that consumers need at least 18 brand touches online before they're going to take action. So you've got to create quite a bit of content and get it out there consistently if you're going to touch someone 18 times. So know that quantity is also important. All right, now, how often do you need to post? Well, one of the experts in this field, one of my favorite characters is Gary V, or Gary Vaynerchuk. He recommends posting daily, once a day at least. Now, he recognizes that not everybody can do that. And he says, well, if you can only post 5 times a week, do that. If it's 4 times, do that. But he says, if it's 3 or 2 or 1, are you really doing it? Do you have a content strategy if you're only posting 2 or 3 times a week? Now, he would say no. Now, I'm going to say 4, 5, or 6 is a perfectly appropriate number for you to start with. And that if that seems like too much, recognize that you don't have to create a work of art with every post. There was a period of time when I was posting daily, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and I was doing it before I had my coffee. And all I was doing was getting up and reading articles about business. And when I found one that I felt would bring value to the space, I'd simply share it with a couple sentences at the top. And that was all it was. And that brings value, and it gets me into the social media space. So that's very easy. You can do that. In addition, you might be managing 3 or 4 different channels. But let's imagine you're already in Facebook and you're building out your Instagram and you're going to try Pinterest. Well, everything you post on Pinterest can be shared on the other 2. And many things that are posted on the other 2 can be shared with one another and Pinterest. So you don't necessarily have to create 5 separate pieces for every channel. Just remember to make certain that what you post on multiple channels is actually appropriate for each of them. Don't try to post the wrong thing. All right, now, can your posts be scheduled later? Yes, they can. Why would you want to do this? Well, imagine you wake up at 4 o'clock with this great idea for a post and you want to get it out there. Well, if you post at 4:05, nobody's going to see that. So you'll want to schedule posts from time to time. And some times are better than others. We do know there's data that shows that right at the beginning of the workday and just before lunch and just after lunch are pretty good times to post. In the middle of the morning and the middle of the afternoon, not so much. Now, every channel is different, and you're going to want to research that if you want to optimize your posting times. But that is a reason to schedule your posts, because you might not be able to build posts at the right time every day. You might be building them in the evening or building them at a low point. Then you can schedule them to be posted when they're going to be getting the most number of eyes. And you can do your own research simply by Googling, what's the best time to post on Instagram? And you'll find plenty of studies to help you out. And then some find it easier to create content in batches. So you might be building out all of your content for the week on Friday the week before. So if you do that, you'll schedule. And then you might want to create campaigns. This is a little advanced, but at some point in the future, you may want to have a coordinated campaign, and you need things to be scheduled to roll out at specific intervals or at specific points in time, at specific days of the week. So there are lots of reasons why you might want to schedule. You can do it, and here's how. So how do you schedule them? Well, there's two ways. The first is to recognize that almost all the channels have the ability to schedule posts for a future share already built in. So when you build that, you just go down, and instead of hitting post, there's going to be some way to choose post later or share later, and then you'll be able to schedule. Another option is to utilize a scheduling application. You know, one of the old ones, one of the old standbys is Hootsuite, but there are many different scheduling apps now. All you have to do is search scheduling app for social media, and you'll come up with ones that are free, some that are paid for, but there are plenty of apps to help you do that. And those are wonderful because if you're building up a lot of content, you can take it all into a dashboard in that app and list exactly where you want each piece of content to post and when. They're excellent apps. So ultimately, from this lesson, I want you to understand first and foremost that doing social media well requires consistency. You've got to commit to consistency. The worst thing you can do is get things up and running, to be really excited at the beginning and then tail off. And then as people are coming to you because they've found you were exciting at the beginning, you were compelling at the beginning, and then they come back and they find that you're not doing anymore, they'll give up on you in a heartbeat. So you've got to build consistency. Do what you can do for the long haul. Okay? You can have occasional pushes with more content, but by and large, you want to build a consistent effort that you can sustain over a long period of time. So that's lesson 7. The next step for you is to go to your assignment page, pull up your social media action plan, fill out section 7 of that, and then in lesson 8, engage, engage, engage. We'll explore the different ways you can generate engagement online. I'll see you there. Cheers.